What if I told you a rookie quarterback with zero NFL experience just made history before ever throwing a pass? Not because of his performance, but because of his endorsement. Cleveland Browns quarterback Shedeur Sanders just signed a ground-shaking deal with Nike, reportedly worth close to $100 million. That's not a typo. That's not a rumor. That's the new reality. But this isn't just a sneaker deal. This is something bigger. Nike isn't sponsoring Sanders. They're investing in him like a franchise. Signature cleats, custom clothing lines, full-scale commercial rollouts, creative control, his face plastered across marketing campaigns that haven't even launched yet. And here's the wild part. They're doing it all before he's been named the Browns' starting quarterback. And according to insider reports, Nike expects him to start. Now think about what that means. For the first time, a global brand isn't waiting for a player to earn his spot. They're helping decide who gets it. Browns coaches are feeling the heat. Veterans in the locker room are raising eyebrows. And league executives are watching nervously, realizing this deal could set off a chain reaction that reshapes how NFL decisions get made. Is Shedeur Sanders the future of football? Or is this the moment the game starts losing control to corporate money? The ads are already running. The stadium's already sold out. The hype train has left the station. Now all that's left is to answer one question. Who really decides who plays in the NFL? Your tape or your brand? Because this time, it might not be the coach holding the clipboard. What Shedeur Sanders just signed isn't an endorsement deal. It's a declaration of power. Insiders reveal that Sanders' deal with Nike is structured unlike anything seen for a rookie quarterback. Valued at up to $100 million. With performance escalators, it's the kind of package normally reserved for MVPs or Super Bowl champions, not rookies who've never taken a snap in the regular season. But Nike's not treating Sanders like a rookie. They're treating him like a movement. Here's what the deal includes. A signature cleat line designed around Sanders. Persona, a full apparel collection under his brand. Commercial campaigns scheduled to air globally. And most surprisingly, creative control over how his name and image are used. It's not just about wearing the swoosh anymore. It's about being part of the brand's next chapter. One marketing exec described it plainly. Nike doesn't want Shedeur to sell shoes. They want him to represent the evolution of football culture. They're betting that Sanders will be more than great, that he'll be transformative. And they're making that bet before he's done anything in an NFL game. This isn't your typical endorsement handshake. It's a full integration of brand and player, merging business and football at the foundation level. And if it works, it rewrites how future rookies are marketed, and maybe even how they're developed. But what happens if the brand's hype outruns the player's game? Inside the Browns facility, the energy shifted the moment the deal became public. Players weren't just congratulating Shedeur Sanders. Behind closed doors, they were questioning everything. Veteran quarterback Joe Flacco reportedly expressed frustration in private circles. Not at Sanders personally, but at the growing sense that the depth chart might not be based on performance anymore. And he wasn't alone. Dillon Gabriel, drafted just a few rounds behind Sanders, supposedly went straight to the front office, asking if the quarterback competition would truly be fair now that one player had a $100 million marketing machine behind him. Defensive captains are staying quiet publicly, but insiders say the tone in team meetings has shifted. Jokes about Nike, subtle comments about earning things. Players are watching how decisions are made and whether corporate influence is slowly pushing football logic out the door. It's a business, one player reportedly said. We all know that, but it's never felt this obvious. And that's the problem. For a team trying to build chemistry, trust, and unity, especially one with playoff hopes, even the perception of favoritism can poison the room. It's not about hating Sanders. Everyone respects his talent, swagger, and work ethic. But when a rookie walks in with international ad deals, creative control, and millions on the table, before he wins a training camp battle, it sends a message that marketing now weighs as much as merit. And in this league, once players start feeling that, everything changes. While players question the timing of the deal, the front office had a different reaction. They started popping champagne. The moment Shedeur Sanders' name was called at the draft, the Cleveland Browns' business exploded. According to sources inside the organization, season tickets sold out in less than 24 hours. Merchandise sales jumped 487% year over year. Social engagement hit record highs. And during a preseason game against the Panthers, the Browns polled 4.5 million live viewers, a number unheard of for a meaningless August matchup. Even corporate sponsors took notice. Television networks began requesting more Browns games in primetime slots. New sponsors reached out about aligning with the team. Not the franchise itself, but the player. Shedeur wasn't just influencing business, he was becoming the business. And suddenly, the tone inside team headquarters shifted. He's not just a rookie anymore. He's an asset, a brand, a revenue stream. Internal marketing teams are reportedly building entire campaigns around him before he's even earned the starting job. Promotional materials, Nike rollouts, commercials, media tours, all hinging on one thing: Shedeur Sanders getting on the field, and fast. When your quarterback is moving product like a wide receiver in his prime, you don't keep him on the bench, said one league consultant. This creates the pressure cooker, because now, every snap he doesn't take, it's costing the Browns money, visibility, momentum, ... The football side may want to slow things down, but the business side? They've already hit fast forward. Behind the scenes, something is shifting, and it's making NFL executives very uncomfortable. According to multiple sources, Nike isn't just sitting on the sidelines waiting for Shedeur Sanders to win the job. They're actively pushing for him to start. One exec familiar with internal discussions put it bluntly: Nike didn't invest 9 figures for a backup quarterback. They expect to see him starting week 1. That pressure, it's creeping from boardrooms into coaching offices. Nike's media team has already booked commercial blocks scheduled to air this season with Shedeur front and center. Filming is ongoing. Brand rollouts are supposedly timed around his on-field debut. Not a preseason appearance, not sideline glimpses, but starting role. And that changes everything. Head coach Kevin Stefanski, reportedly already stressed over balancing football decisions with marketing expectations, now finds himself caught between 2 completely different kinds of power. One, his coaching staff and locker room culture. The other, a billion-dollar brand with global reach and financial leverage. That's not a fair fight. Even within the Browns organization, the lines are blurring. Playbooks are being adjusted, installations revised, game plans simplified. Not because it's best for the team, but because it fits the brand timeline. One assistant coach reportedly said, "We went from quarterback development to corporate onboarding overnight. If this trend sticks, it could destroy the wall that's always separated sponsorship from strategy. Today, it's just one rookie quarterback. But if Nike can dictate reps now, how long before other brands start shaping who plays where and when?" Kevin Stefanski is facing what might be the toughest challenge of his coaching career. And it has nothing to do with X's and O's. He's not just preparing for a season opener against the Ravens. He's trying to protect the integrity of his football team from forces far beyond the locker room. On one side, he's got a rookie quarterback with elite talent, enormous potential, and a serious work ethic. On the other side, he's got a global brand demanding results now. Sources say Stefanski has maintained a calm, public demeanor, but internally, he's spoken directly and firmly. "I decide who starts, not Nike." The problem? That line is getting harder to defend. Offensive coordinator Alex Van Pelt has already revised the team's installation schedule, simplifying the playbook, designing custom Sanders packages, and focusing reps around what the brand needs to showcase, rather than what the team needs to run its offense. Quarterbacks coach frustrated. Development plans that typically take months are now being fast-tracked into weeks. Even staff members are whispering that they feel like they're rewriting the entire playbook, not to beat opponents, but to meet marketing milestones. One assistant summed it up like this: "We're coaching football, but we're managing a brand." And that's Stefanski's nightmare. If he resists, he risks tension with ownership, partners, and fans. If he gives in, he risks losing the locker room and the respect of players around the league watching this unfold. Either way, he's walking a tightrope, and the clock is ticking. What's happening in Cleveland right now isn't just a quarterback controversy. It's a policy crisis in the making. Sources inside the NFL league office say officials are already involved, monitoring conversations, reviewing insider reports, and considering whether rule changes may be needed if brand interference becomes the norm. Why? Because this is uncharted territory, and the consequences stretch far beyond Shedeur Sanders. One AFC executive said it bluntly: "If outside brands can start influencing who gets reps, it's the beginning of a completely different sport." Even the Players Union, the NFLPA, is watching this situation closely. Representatives are reportedly concerned that deals like Sanders could disrupt merit-based competition, skew contract values, and undercut veterans who don't come with billion-dollar branding. It's not about stopping endorsements. It's about preserving fairness and protecting the idea that on-field performance earns playing time, not logo partnerships. But here's where it gets tricky. The league and its teams already benefit from enormous brand partnerships. Nike, Gatorade, Pepsi, Verizon. Football has always been business. But this is beyond that. This is a brand paying a player more than his NFL contract, then putting pressure on a franchise to start him before he's proven anything. That's not marketing, that's meddling. And it creates a dangerous cycle. If Shedeur starts and succeeds, this model becomes a blueprint. If he fails publicly, it could lead to policy breakdowns and locker room blowups no coach can control. Right now, league officials are walking on ice, hoping this doesn't become a headline they can't manage. Because if this spirals, the NFL may never be able to walk it back. To really understand Nike's obsession with Shedeur Sanders, you have to look beyond Cleveland and way beyond 2024. This isn't just a bet on a promising quarterback. It's a calculated move in a much bigger game. Global domination of football culture. For decades, Nike's stars dominated individual sports. Michael Jordan transformed basketball, Tiger Woods changed golf, Serena revolutionized tennis. Each of them wasn't just successful, they became the sport's international identity. Now Nike wants to do that with football. But here's the problem. NFL football still isn't truly global. The Super Bowl is massive, yes, but the league hasn't yet found its breakthrough global icon. Enter Shedeur Sanders, young, charismatic, already a social media magnet, and with a family legacy that makes headlines no matter what he does. According to insider reports, Nike's long-term strategy is to position Shedeur as the Jordan of football. They've charted global ad campaigns featuring him in Europe, Asia, and Africa. They've got deals lined up in media, streaming, lifestyle branding, and crossover marketing. And they're not waiting. Cameras are already rolling. Commercial cutdowns are in post-production. Influencer partnerships are being built around his debut. The entire global push hinges on him becoming a starter. Because for Nike, this isn't about the Browns winning games. It's about creating a face of football that sells worldwide. And the only way that works is if Shedeur takes the field now. NFL team? Sure. But to Nike, he's a franchise, a brand, an icon in waiting. And they're not betting millions just to watch him sit on the bench. For all the hype, networks, and Nike commercials, here's the one thing no one can control: the game itself. Shedeur Sanders may have the brand, the backing, the family legacy, and the spotlight, but the NFL isn't TikTok. It's not a studio set or a merchandise rollout. It's real, brutal, unpredictable football. So the question is simple: can he actually deliver? According to reports from Brown's training camp, Sanders has turned heads. Coaches say his processing speed is sharp, his arm strength is legit, and his command of the offense is ahead of typical rookie curves. He's studying film relentlessly and refusing to lean back on hype. On talent alone, he belongs. But that's not the issue. It's the timeline. Most rookie quarterbacks, even the best, need time. Time to adjust to NFL speed. Time to recognize disguised blitzes, to manipulate safeties with their eyes, to make pressure feels second nature. When brands push timelines, development gets compressed. And in this league, you don't get a second chance to make a first impression. If Shedeur starts and struggles, the backlash won't just hit him. It'll hit the staff, the front office, and Nike, all of whom will quickly learn the NFL doesn't wait for narratives to settle. But if he soars, he changes football forever. Because then, the endorsements, the influence, it'll all be justified. But until the first whistle blows and the bullets fly for real, everything else is noise. The playbook has changed. Shedeur Sanders hasn't taken a single NFL snap, and yet he's already changed the way the league thinks about value, visibility, and power. What began as a brand partnership is quickly becoming a defining moment, not just for the Browns, but for the entire NFL. This is no longer just a prospect trying to earn a job. This is a rookie quarterback backed by a billion-dollar brand, influencing decisions once reserved only for coaches and scouts. Endorsement deals have always existed, but nothing like this. This is creative control. This is brand-first play calling. This is Nike expecting to cash in on a player who may not even be ready yet. And that raises the uncomfortable truth. Who really decides who plays now? The head coach with the scheme or the company with the marketing calendar? If Shedeur succeeds, he becomes the first player to rewrite the path to stardom before ever proving it on the field. He becomes the blueprint, the prototype. If he struggles, the fallout could be massive. Not just for him, but for Cleveland, the front office, and the NFL's entire relationship with corporate power. And that's what makes this moment so rare and so important. The cameras are rolling. A league is watching. And whether he's ready or not, the revolution has already started. Because for the first time in NFL history, the QB depth chart may have been printed on a marketing brief. Now, it's up to Shedeur to prove he's not just the most marketable rookie ever, but the one who earns it with every snap.